What if all lightning strikes hit the same point on Earth? It sounds insane, but if you've ever seen lightning strike the ground, you know it's not just light and thunder. It's energy, massive, merciless. Now imagine that every lightning bolt on the planet, millions per day, suddenly stops hitting different places. All that electricity, all the fury of the sky, gathers in a single point. Lightning isn't just a natural phenomenon. It's a plasma channel, hotter than the surface of the sun. A single strike can melt metal, ignite forests, destroy electronics. Now imagine all of them flying to one spot. At first it might seem harmless, just a bigger flash, a louder boom. But physics disagrees. An electrical discharge of 100 million volts, hundreds of thousands of amps, isn't just a spark, it's a miniature explosion. Now multiply that by 100, 1,000, 10,000. The Earth can't take that. The soil burns, then evaporates. The air turns into superheated plasma. Metal melts instantly. Stone behaves like wax under the sun. The impact center becomes a crater, deep, boiling, alive. Nearby trees still stand, but their leaves have curled. The bark chars. Everything alive within dozens of kilometers is either burned or deafened by the shockwave. People collapse. Electronics fail. Even those who didn't see the strike feel it. The air thickens. There's a scent of ozone and heat. With each new bolt, lightning hits already scorched ground, but instead of dissipating, energy builds up. The Earth begins to glow. It rises into the air as if alive. Wind lifts the dust. It swirls upward and everything turns gray. People hundreds of kilometers away see the flashes, like nuclear explosions. But they don't stop. The sky loses its color. Clouds grow denser but don't fall. They seem to stretch downward. Electric fields distort. Compass needles spin wildly. Radio signals vanish. Everything based on electromagnetic waves shuts down. Planes lose navigation. Satellites see only a blinding spot. And all this in mere seconds. Imagine you're looking out the window and suddenly the Earth in the distance seems to boil. The light pulses like a heartbeat. Only with each pulse, it's scarier. And then, after 100 strikes, comes complete silence. You think it's over, but it's just the beginning. The hot zone keeps burning. The temperature inside is so extreme that metal doesn't just melt, it vaporizes. Air above rises, creating a megastorm, and it starts again, striking the same place, in a loop. Energy feeding itself. Minutes later, the surrounding area no longer looks like Earth. It's a crater surrounded by glass, charred trees, and dead birds. The sound resembles the roar of 1,000 jet engines. Surveillance cameras capture shadows disappearing. The light is too bright for shadows to exist. Soon, buildings within tens of kilometers begin to collapse, not from fire, but from pressure waves. Cars flip over from shock waves. People inside lose consciousness without even knowing what's happening. Hearts stop, not from fear, but from overload. A few hours later, a new crater forms. It expands, as deep as a lake, as wide as a city. At its center, plasma. Around it, a desert. This is no longer a landscape. It's a scar. Deep, pulsing, unstable. Geologists lose contact with their sensors. Everything has gone beyond normal science. The climate over the region changes. Dust and soot rise into the atmosphere. Block out the sun. Temperatures drop. Summer days turn to winter. Rain doesn't fall. The air is dry, bitter. People in other countries begin falling ill. Microscopic dust filled with metal and carbon enters their lungs. Global media panics. Scientists give interviews, but there's fear in their eyes. They're not sure it will end. Some are convinced these discharges could reach the Earth's core. And if so, the planet's magnetic field could shift. or disappear, which means no protection from space. Cosmic radiation begins to burn through the atmosphere. The survivors, they don't live anymore. They endure. Humanitarian missions can't approach. Electronics fail. Radio is silent. Only one question hangs in the air. What was that? Some say it was an atmospheric failure. Others claim it's the start of a global climate shift. And some whisper, it wasn't natural. It was activated deliberately as a test, a warning, or a countdown. And just when it seems everything has gone quiet, in the distant void, a new point ignites. And again, lightning,